Tonight, our special transmission as an Israeli strike kills 3 sons and at least 3 grandchildren of Hamas's leader Ismail Haniyeh on Eid al-Fitr. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Zahra Sayed. Today is the 188th day since Israel started its incessant bombing on Palestinian civilians. In the past 24 hours, Israeli strikes in Gaza have killed dozens of Palestinians in Nusayrat refugee camp and Rafah. 3 Palestinian journalists, including a Turkish media staffer, have been injured. 70 injured civilians have been brought to the camp's El Ouda hospital since morning. Israeli strikes have targeted a house in Gaza, killing at least 25 civilians. Air raids also hit a school serving as a shelter for displaced people. The World Health Organization is calling the damage to the medical sector unimaginable. A raid in the Tubas governorate in the West Bank has killed at least 2 Palestinians. A report by the British media outlet The Telegraph reveals that the Israeli military officer Noki Mandel had previously advocated for a complete blockade on aid entering into Gaza. Mandel is responsible for the recent attack on 7 foreign aid workers. The report says Mandel, along with 129 officers, signed an open letter in January urging the Israeli government to cut off all aid to the besieged enclave. The death toll from Israel's attacks continues to rise. At the time of writing, at least 33,634 Palestinians had been killed. A report by the United Nations estimates another 8,000 civilians have been buried under the rubble. 76,214 have been injured. The revised death toll in Israel from Hamas's attacks stands at 1,139. A group of Israeli settlers ignited a Palestinian home and a vehicle in El Luban, a Sharqiya village near Nablus, West Bank. Mayor Yaqub Awais has reported the attack. He says the local villagers forced the settlers out. At least 1 Palestinian has been injured. Israel faces increasing international pressure to crack down on settler violence. Both the US and the UK recently slapped sanctions on extremist settlers alleged to have carried out attacks on Palestinians. About 490,000 settlers live amongst approximately 3 million Palestinians in the West Bank. These settlements are considered illegal under international law. An attack by Israeli forces in northern Gaza has killed 3 sons of Hamas political bureau leader Ismail Haniyeh. The assault occurred when Haniyeh's sons were visiting relatives in Shati refugee camp for Eid al-Fitr on Wednesday. In an interview with Al Jazeera Arabic, Haniyeh confirmed the killing of his sons Hazim, Amir, and Muhammad, along with a number of his grandchildren. Haniyeh is in exile and is based in Qatar. He denounces the attack. He says the incident will not deter Palestinian leaders from resisting Israeli occupation. Haniyeh says the blood of his sons is not more valuable than the blood of the Palestinian people, and all those killed in Gaza are his children. Israel claims Haniyeh's sons were military operatives planning activities against Israel. Earlier, Israel claimed it had withdrawn troops from southern Gaza. However, it continues its aerial attacks on Palestinians throughout the enclave. Hamas has confirmed Haniyeh has received condolences from Turkish President Erdogan, Qatar's Prime Minister Al-Thani, and Palestinian Authority President Abbas. The use of artificial intelligence systems by the Israeli army is under scrutiny due to the mounting civilian casualties in Gaza. Reports from 2 Israeli outlets reveal that Israel is using 2 AI tools, Where's Daddy and Lavender. Lavender identifies suspected fighters and their homes, while Where's Daddy informs Israeli forces when they have returned home. When these militants are visiting their homes, Israeli strikes hit their residences, with civilians frequently becoming collateral damage. Israel denies using AI for targeting, and it says that it tries to minimize the civilian harm. Experts and human rights advocates are expressing skepticism on these claims. CNN reports that half of the Israeli munitions are used to strike Gaza have been dumb bombs. Dumb bombs are unguided bombs with no guidance system. Gulf states, including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar, have invested in an Israeli company connected to Israel's defense industry. The investments have been routed through a $3 billion fund by the son in law of former U.S. President Donald Trump. Jared Kushner has been raised in a modern Orthodox Jewish family. He played a pivotal role in brokering ties between the UAE and Israel in 2020. Kushner's fund invested $150 million in an Israeli unit. The unit has ties to Israel's shipyards, the builder of missile boats, and for the Israeli Navy. Saudi Arabia invested $2 billion, while the UAE and Qatar both invested $200 million each. Kushner denies investing in the Israeli Navy. A Moroccan activist is facing a 5-year prison sentence for criticizing Morocco's decision to normalize relations with Israel. Abdul Rahman Zankad is a member of Al Adl wal Ihsan. Al Adl wal Ihsan is a Moroccan Islamist organization which is not considered legal in the country. Zankad was arrested after condemning Morocco's diplomatic ties with Tel Aviv on social media. He is found guilty of insulting a constitutional institution and incitement. He has been fined 50,000 Moroccan dirhams. Al Adl wal Ihsan denounces the verdict and labels it as authoritarianism. Civil liberty advocates argue Zankad's trial lacks fairness. Mass protests have erupted across Morocco, opposing Israel and demanding the reversal of the normalization. The move to establish ties came in 2020 under the U.S. brokered Abraham Accords. In return for the normalization, the U.S. recognized Morocco's claim on Western Sahara. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has dismissed claims that Chinese meddling affected the outcome of the Canadian elections. In a sworn testimony before a public inquiry, he said China tried to meddle in the last 2 elections but could not affect the outcome. Trudeau assures that the 2019 and the 2021 elections were free and fair. The commission is investigating foreign influence in the Canadian federal elections. Opposition leader Erin O'Toole estimates potential impact on 9 seats, but admits no significant alteration in the election's outcome. Trudeau says it is improbable for Beijing to interfere directly. The Chinese embassy has criticized Trudeau's remarks. It denies any interest in Canadian affairs. On the other hand, Canada's spy agency says there is evidence of covert Chinese interference. The Commission will submit initial findings by May 3rd and a final report by the end of this year. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad. Assalamu alaikum.